at what point do you start to say, look, the guy is pushing the law, there's no evidence, hard and fast evidence of illegality, I guess, at this point. But at what point do you start using the C word for Mr. Christie, meaning corrupt? And at what point do the Republicans have to start looking for another savior?
Well, look, New Jersey's had a lot of corruption scandals in the past. Both Democrats and Republicans got in a lot of trouble for cronyism, for pay-to-play, that type of thing. And, that's the kind of ironic thing about what's going on now, because New Jersey, not too long ago, passed some of the strongest ethics reform laws in the country. So a lot of these stories, like the Huffington Post story on the governor's mansion, my story about the pensions, what Christie did appears to be legal because although these investment contract managers, these hedge fund managers, can't legally give gifts to Christie, they can't give money to him directly, they've used these super PAC-like groups to move around the law. It's basically a loophole so that they can give him $1 million and, no law is violated. So it's an interesting dynamic, but I know that there are investigations about his conduct and his appointees' conduct at the Port Authority. There's a lot of questions being asked about the legality of how he was handing out the Hurricane Sandy money. I think a lot of these questions are yet to be answered.
And listen, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Lee, but I have very carefully looked up the word corruption, and you do not have to be breaking the law to be described as corrupt. I'm just saying, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but what should people be looking for as we read your great reporting and other people's reporting on Christie Gate, for instance, everything's Gate nowadays? What do you think are going to be the breaking stories, just to wrap this up?
Well, one last kind of quick comment on the corruption angle. A Christie surrogate who's now famous, Bill Baroni, who's now at the Port Authority, but in 2009 he was kind of Chris Christie's attack dog. He said that John Corzine's activity, very similar management of the pension fund, opened the door to the perception of politics, basically saying it was corrupt. So if you use the Christie campaign's own standard, then I suppose it's corrupt.
Well, okay, then here's a guy who is, as they say, being hoist on his own petard and in drum thwack it, no less. Now, how's that for a conclusion?